Hey, everybody. I'll try to speak loud for those in the back. If you can't hear me, let me know. Thanks so much for coming out. My name is Cynthia Summers. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Windsor Housing. I've met some of you before, but not a lot. I've only been here a year. I come from Toronto. I didn't live in Toronto, but I was the Commissioner of Housing Equity for the City of Toronto. So that's my background. I have a tenant-focused background and an equity background. So when you're the very first to do this with me, I've gone out and I've met with tenants in their buildings when there was an issue. But what I want to do going forward from this month is go to all the communities and meet with tenants face to face. I'm going to do this forever. So you're the first. You're going to notice that there aren't many staff here, and that's on purpose. Because my goal for this is that you can speak to me directly, and if you have a concern about staff, for example, you can raise it, or we can at least agree to talk offline. So I do have help with me today, though. I do have Kayla, who you know, I believe most of you know, but you want to introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, my name is Kayla Desarge, Community Development Coordinator. My office is right over here. I know a lot of people here, so if at any point you want me to leave or not to stay, so you can voice any opinions you have, just let me know.
You're the safe one out of all of them.
She does rock, it's true. And we have two students from St. Clair College who just started today. Do you guys want to introduce yourself?
Hi everybody, my name is Monica Kersey. I'm a social service worker. Just happy to be with you guys here today.
Hi, my name is Mary. I'm also a social service worker. We came here today and set this up for you guys so you could.
So if you see notes being taken, the only reason for the notes is when I meet with people, I always follow up. So if you complain about a concern you have, I'm going to follow up with you and tell you what we did or why we can't do it. So they're going to record just what the concerns are. You don't have to give any personal information about yourself unless you want to. Like, I'm in Unit 303, my toilet doesn't work. I probably need to know that you're in Unit 303 in order to fix it or deal with it. Ideally, we'd be sitting around a fire having a casual conversation, but this setting isn't really great for that. But I have no agenda beyond coming to hear from you. Please help yourself to coffee, which is right up here, and please help yourself to the snacks. So, with that, I'll just allow one person to come in. The other thing that I'm hoping for is to get any tenants who want to get more involved in the decision making at Windsor Essex Housing, whether it be for developing new policy, whether it's outreach. Let us know today. Just feel free, or you can contact me afterwards, because I'm hoping across the city and find out people who really want to get more involved. So one of the things I noticed when I came to Windsor Essex Housing is that the tenants are very kind. You're wonderful to work with. Your concerns are valid, but you're quiet. Compared to Toronto, you're pretty quiet. So I want you to start, if you're interested, to start getting more involved, and I want to learn how to enable you to get more involved. So,
I don't think it's fair that you generalize us all like that.
yeah, just my general observation. Everybody's different.
Poor attempt at humor, yes.
So, anyways, thank you for that.
No problem.
Check. I think we should just start with, is anyone here who came today because they said, I want to ask the CEO this? Sir, what's your name?
Aaron.
Aaron.
Okay, so I'm like kind of a first responder at heart. I'm getting back on my feet, obviously, along the block. I can't shut off the first responder thing. So I live in 395. On a daily basis, I'm like checking, visually checking breathing. I've checked a couple pulses. Luckily, I haven't had to use any Narcan, but I have Narcan in my backpack and I have Narcan in my coat at all times. I got a start of a first aid kit. I'm wondering how extensive the CPR training is with the security guards, because if they don't have like proper training,
that's kind of
maybe
stuff
it
that I
might
think is
be a good
nonsense
idea
bullshit.
to have like first aid gear or like on call or something, because ambulances can't always show up with that shortage of paramedics.
So the person who would know that exact answer is our health and safety guy, and he's not here.
Okay.
I'm assuming security would have a training.
I know
As a former commissioner, I will say yes, they do have proper training, unless they raise it as a health and safety issue with your union.
Right.
Yeah, I can tell you that our staff, so the CHC staff, are going through the training sessions, and that's one of the areas.
Right,
In fact,
right.
almost all our staff.
For people
will
that don't
have
live
a
here.
first aid certificate.
Not to gloss over, but what about de-escalation tactics and self-defense training?
Among staff, we've done the de-escalation and, what is it called? Julie teaches it.
Non-violent crisis intervention.
Non-violent crisis.
I know a couple of the security guards haven't had it, but one guy with a job specifically. So
So look up what the issues.
yeah,
So I'll follow up.
I'll take it with them.
No, can I just cut in here for a second? You know, those are valid good things that you're saying, but the truth is this. Why the fuck do we have to have security here and feel like our lives are threatened every second of the day?
Violent crime and gang members.
It's not that. It's not that, man. It's not that.
So you're saying, why do we
No,
need
but
security?
I'm sorry, but this is the facts. The security knows. The people that work here know who the problem people are. The simplest way to get rid of drugs in any neighborhood, any properties, anywhere, is to have security tell these people, no, you cannot come in because you didn't buzz in. No, you cannot follow this tenant in because you buzzed in. If they don't get their drugs here, they don't come here. We feel safer. There was a guy just stabbed a couple days ago, right in front of my fucking door, and I couldn't get in.
To be fair, there's
Okay.
2 drug dealers on my floor.
There's more than that. There's drug dealers all over this building, and nothing gets done about it. And they know, and I know they know because I know them all, and I shouldn't know them all.
It's a hard issue to combat.
No, it's not a hard issue to combat. It's this. The corporation, if they want to make this neighborhood better, need to hire security in every building and tell these people to leave. You stop them from coming in, the drug dealers can't sell them drugs, they don't come here no more. Period.
Some of them live here.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Again, that's another issue that has to be dealt with. The good people that live here need to be moved where the bad people, where they're select bad people, and the bad people should move here. If you want to have all that there, why do people that are sick, stressed out, mentally ill have to deal with all this chaos? You guys sit there and care about all the rights of people that don't live here. I've seen it. For 5 years, I've seen the staff care about more about these people that don't live here than the actual people that do.
Okay, so you want me to respond to that?
There is no response to that because there's nothing you can really do.
Let me speak. There's a couple issues. What the corporation can do is only 2 things really. We can do trespass orders against people who don't live here, who don't have a legal right to be here. And actually, we do a lot of those now. That's a big change this past year. We be regulated with the police, and I belong to the strength and safety group as well, where we look at crime in the area, try to address that. But for people who are tenants who have legal rights to live here, if we determine that...
You think we have rights here?
You do.
No, we don't. We don't get treated like people here. We're fucking numbers.
Do you want me to finish?
Go ahead.
So the way that you evict someone for behavior is you have to have evidence, and then you go to the landlord-tenant board to pursue the eviction, right? You've probably heard about the landlord-tenant board. The challenge with the landlord-tenant board is the government stopped funding adjudicators about 2 years ago. So they were basically got down to next to no adjudicators. They've now reversed that decision. So in the last 6 months to 12 months, they've started hiring adjudicators. But because of the backlog and because now you've got new adjudicators and new training, it's taking 8 months to get to a hearing. The other part of this is it's confidential. So if you had a neighbor that we were actually pursuing eviction on, you wouldn't know unless the neighbor told you. We're not allowed to tell anybody. So sometimes people get frustrated because something violent will happen. And they'll say, what are you doing about it? And the truth is we're on it right away. But it's going to take 8 months before we get a hearing. And we don't decide who gets evicted, right? It's the landlord-tenant board that makes that decision. So I'm not going to lie to you, of course there's times we go to the tribunal, we say someone should be evicted for their behavior, and the landlord, the person cries, or whatever, sympathetic, and the tribunal doesn't evict them. And if they don't evict them, we can't evict them. We don't have the right to evict. So, that's a misunderstanding that people have, that we can just evict. We can't just...
When a tenant causes bodily harm to another tenant, it's immediate eviction with the Landlord-Tenant Act.
In fact, let me tell you a little bit about my background. I used to be an adjudicator on the landlord-tenant board, so I know that process extremely well. And one of my goals in coming to this organization was to make sure that we avoid eviction for people who just need support, and we evict people who are disrupting other tenants. But the process is we do not have the right to evict. In fact, you can see the police can come to respond to an incident, and 24 hours later, that person is back in their unit. Why? Because if the police don't charge them and keep them, they have a lawful right to their unit, right? Even if they get charged, they can come back and wait to go to court for their case to be heard. So we are doing our best to address drugs and violence in this community. The final thing I'll say is this community has the most security of any community in Windsor, Essex has.
Yeah, but it's not
We
because.
have the best security system, like the cameras, and I think we have 3 security guards on duty most time, right? Most of our buildings have 0 security. We have one other building that has 2 security guards and no cameras. So the reality is, to put cameras in is $500,000, right? We're doing this on 9/20/11 right now. It's $500,000. So a big issue is funding as well. So funding by the government for affordable housing like this is hard to get.
Yeah.
So another part of my job now is advocate all 3 levels of government and say we need more money. So security guards cost money. It's like $200,000 a year for a security guard.
Is there any way of putting like video cameras in the laundry room?
There is video cameras in the laundry room, but,
Not in our building.
well, there is video cameras in my laundry room, in my building.
We don't need more video cameras. We need someone to stop the people from coming in.
The reason why he's asking, and also the reason why I know the reason
See,
why he's asking,
like I said,
he's asking for that.
nothing's gonna get done here. Not a
It's
damn
because,
thing.
Like, us residents.
This is the same bullshit over and over again.
This building too. When we go into our laundry and say we gotta
Like,
run
all these
upstairs,
people
go cook
that are
ourselves
talking
a
right
meal,
now
and
love
then
it here. They
all
love
of
it
a
here.
sudden come back,
They love it here.
Oh, some homeless guy comes in and, oh, girls pair of undies, I'm gonna take them, or a t-shirt or whatever.
So what building are you in?
Number 445.
Can you write that down? I'll check that.
No camera.
No cameras.
So some of the buildings have cameras and some don't.
Again,
One time there was a big major flood because they turned around and took the pipe. They took the copper pipe and there was water all over.
again, you're talking about problems about people that don't live in our building.
That's what I'm saying, like, we have these security guards here. Okay, yes, I understand they're here to protect Windsor housing code workers and protect the Windsor housing property, but also they should be there to protect us and our residents, because there are people that are on the streets, okay? That's not our problem that they ended up on there. But they come in your building, vandalize it, smoke their drugs,
Shit in the hallways.
do the needles in our hallways of our floor, and every time we call the security, oh, we can't come right now. We'll be there in about like 20 minutes. About 20 minutes. And if one of us residents that has a child that is 2 or 3 years old, or 4, their child decides to walk out in the door, they see a needle on the floor, they decide to pick it up and stab it in their heart. And guess who's held responsible for that? The parents, because they're responsible because they didn't take they're responsible because they allowed their child to go out in the hall to pick up that needle. All the needles, Tammy, and I live in 395.
Didn't ask my name.
And I see it all the time, and I call the security all the time.
It's insane. I live in 395 and it's fucking insane.
Hey, you know what, I called them, myself, for needles. Oh, we're not trained to pick it up. Safety is your issue, and you need to protect people, so you need to be trained on, get a long pair of tongs. and-
Or get a pair of put a pair of gloves in the building. Every time they come in, and they got to pick up a pair of needles or a pipe or whatever. Put
All
the
small
gloves on.
problems that
They
I
have
solve by
gloves
saying
there.
put a fucking
And
security
another
guard in
thing,
front of the
yeah,
doors.
and another thing.
Like,
A couple
does
of
no
weeks
one
ago,
listen?
I was sitting in my apartment, minding my own business. I'm hearing yelling and screaming coming from the hallway. I'm like, okay, it's probably one of my residents from upstairs or on my floor yelling at their girlfriend or their boyfriend or whatever. No, it stops, and then about another 5 minutes later, it starts back up again. I go look out on my fire escape. There's a guy, a homeless girl and a homeless guy out in the hallway in the fire escape, choking this crap out of the girl. I call the cops. I'm like, screw this, I ain't calling the security, I'll call the cops. They're here more faster than they are.
Did the police come?
Oh yeah, they were here. They talked to the girl, and then they came back because they had to come and talk to me because they needed a statement from me.
Okay. Well, I think in general.
It's just that the homeless come in all the time.
Yeah.
I think in general, if you're in an emergency or you use something like that, you should call the police before security, right? Because they have no powers in security anyways. But, yeah, I know you have crime in your neighborhood, right?
Stop the homeless from coming in.
Like the way I'm looking at it is this.
That's like trying to say stuff like directly from the yard.
Like, what
It's
I'm
not
saying is
impossible.
this.
I've seen it happen in buildings. Security stands at the door and stops these people from coming in, and they can't get their drugs anymore. It's all about them getting drugs. If they can't get their drugs, they don't come here no more.
The pharmaceutical
Period.
industry is our enemy.
It's all our enemy around here.
Like, what I'm saying is, if you guys want, like, what I'm saying is Windsor Housing wants us to help guys to improve the place. And you want our help and you want us to follow rules. It's also, it should work both ways. Like my mom and my dad said all the time, you want the same respect. If you want people to follow an example of what you're doing, you guys show that example, same thing back. If you can't show that same example towards them, then the residents are gonna be like, I ain't gonna do crap.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let it do whatever and whatever. And let it keep it up and keep it up.
So Tammy, what would your example be of the staff not respecting you? Give me an example.
Oh, I got one.
Pardon?
Oh, I got one. Go ahead.
Like for example, like if we call, like for instance, like yesterday, there was one of the residents that lives on my floor. Let their dog, open up the door and let a dog walk down the hall and let it shit in the hall. I came here, video recorded, came here, told the lady at the front desk, can you kindly have these guys go over there, deal with it, or go over there and tell him, like, get out of your apartment, clean up the dog's crap. That's all they did.
Well,
All they did. So I went back there, yeah, I had every right to be pissed because it was shit in front of my door. And two, like, if they want us to improve, help them improve this, you guys want us to help, like, if I come, she comes, or any one of the other residents come to you and tell you, just don't stand there like an idiot and say, oh, we gotta watch the video first and go see it.
We'll get to it when we get to it.
I actually heard about that. I don't hear about everything that happens in every building, but I heard about that yesterday. They did clean it up.
What I'm saying is, it's not Tom's job to clean up somebody else's dog's shit in the
No.
hallway. It should be the owner of that dog should be cleaning it up.
It's also the responsibility of the person who, he's allowing the homeless person who owns the dog, that he should be cleaning it up and he should be getting indemnified for it.
Oh,
The
it's
person did
dog?
not live here.
Oh.
He's a homeless guy, he ended up with a dog, he was bouncing
No, this
around.
was the big one dog.
That's
okay?
right, just listen, he owned it, he got the dog, he was living in Sherry's, in a handicap, and then he was over in Cheryl's, another handicap. He got kicked out of both of them. He moved upstairs on the second floor to the gentleman, but he also turned around and the gentleman gets tired every so often, so then that gentleman and the dog end up at 445.
So I've heard about security, I've heard about responding quickly or not quickly to requests. Does anybody have something they want to talk to me about that we haven't already talked about?
How about transfers? I ran through hoops getting medical forms filled out by doctors, and I handed all my transfer forms in. And to be honest, I got screwed living here because I was only supposed to be here for 2 months while they had a place in the East End getting ready for me. They trapped me here and told me they gave it to another girl, and I had to wait a year before I could even put in the transfer. Then I put the transfer in, and the woman that I gave the transfer to didn't even hand it in, and I was waiting like an asshole for 5 years for my transfer and still never got it. So then I was told to do an emergency transfer. I've got doctor's letters, doctor's notes stating that I need a better environment to live in. Guess what? Still didn't get it. Like, if you are male living in this place, and I know for a fact, you are bottom line. I got a friend that lives here. He's not here, and I wish he was. He's been waiting 7 years to move because he can't have his kids here. People do not want to come here. You are labeled in this city as a piece of shit if you live here. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I worked my ass off my whole life before I got in an accident, and I was a respected person in this city. Now, I'm a piece of shit to everybody because I live here. My family won't come here. My friends won't come here. No one will come here. My mental health from coming here, I came in here as a Buddhist, loving and caring about everybody. Now I hate every single thing about this place and all the people. Sorry, no offense to everybody. It's not that I know you personally, but that shit doesn't stop.
I want to, wait, with respect, I just want to give someone else an opportunity to speak.
And I agree because I also, I have mental health. I can't walk from this, I asked if I can be transferred from the 7th floor to a main floor because I can't walk. Like when the elevators break down, I can't walk down the steps. I put that transfer in like in 2022, and I'm still waiting.
It's hard to get transfers because we're at 98% full.
But,
right?
yeah.
So we have very few.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
and the reason why you guys are full is and the reason why you guys are full, you have residents that have been living in your apartments for years or months or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. But as soon as somebody that comes from Toronto, the blue brand new,
Yep.
go.
I can tell
And
you.
it's also, it
You either
also
want
is,
to hear me speak or you don't.
Yeah.
No, I said what I said. I was just waiting for your response.
The reason that transfers are hard is like I said, we're 98% full. When you make a transfer request, you say which building you want to go to. If you pick a building that is wonderful, because we do have some really nice buildings, those tenants don't leave, right? They leave when they die. So the odds of getting a unit in that building can take up to 10 years, easy. The other challenge is, you're not full because of people from Toronto. They're not swarming to Windsor. You're full because before COVID, the government, the municipal government, made a decision that there will be priority people coming into housing. This is across Windsor and the county. So priority is victim of domestic violence. Priority is someone who's on the street. So what's happened and what you've seen in the last couple of years is a lot of people are coming directly from the street into our housing. In the past, that wouldn't have happened because they weren't in priority. We have a chronological list you've probably heard of people on the wait list wanting to live here, right? There's 7,400 people right now on that list. That list doesn't even get touched because the priority list comes first, and that's the law. That's not our decision. That's actually the government's law. So that's why we're full. If anybody's wondering, why are we full? Also, there's not enough housing in Windsor, right? Windsor used to be a community where people could afford to go to college and come out and buy a house.
So why didn't they build buildings when they got the $90 million?
Pardon me?
Why didn't they build buildings when they got the $90 million?
When did we do 90?
It's on one of your social media sites where the mayor's standing there because the government gave this corporation $90 million.
Well, if you're talking about a year ago, the government gave this organization over a 10-year period $170 million, and that's for repairs only. And that's what it's been designated for. So we're going around, we've got old properties. Because Windsor didn't build a lot of housing. So we have old properties. So within the 10 years, by 2028, I believe it's that one, we have to spend this $170 million on repairs. Can't be used for building.
Let me ask you something. Would you let you and your family live here?
No, I was gonna say, I was just suggesting, since we have all these old abandoned buildings that are ordered up, how about the government takes that money?
She's not the government, man.
No, but I'm not saying she's the government, I'm saying like, the government and the organization of Windsor Housing, that since the number one priority is getting people off the streets and getting them into houses, how about build that, like, take a whole place, remodel it, refix stuff, let residents know, deal with, repair.
So we do do that. If a building can't be repaired, we do pull them down, we do rebuild. So for 2024, we're building 6 4-plexes. So it's gonna be a single home and it's gonna be like 4 homes. But if you want to know the answer, the short answer to all questions is money, right? It's a fortune. Like you look at, we built Meadowbrook, the first new building in Windsor, Essex, in 30 years. You know, it cost $150 million. So, you know, we've got a balance trying to repair with new builds. And, you know, they involve so many levels of government. So, for example, recently you might have heard about, there's a federal pool of money. It's called the Accelerated Fund. But all these other cities, they've got this money to build.
You know.
But Windsor refused the money because they don't want 4-plexes across the whole community. I have no control over that. So as it stands now, we're not getting that money. Whereas Linden did.
And they came up with like habitat to do what she's suggesting and abandoned houses.
But
We, just this past summer, we did partner with Habitat and we refurbished 5 of our townhomes. So yeah, the answer is, the solution is that where you have to be really creative, like how can we work together to do this? So we did do that 5. It's a start. In fact, the reason we haven't done more is Habitat has told us they don't have the capacity to do more right now. Because we actually had 20 for them to do.
Cynthia, I'll talk to you a little later about some of this stuff, but what I've got to say about some of these issues. First of all, there actually was a friend of mine that was evicted illegally, and they did not go through the landlord-tenant board. Immediately, they kicked him out, changed the law. And he chose not to.
All right, my man.
The idea was supposed to be, it was a knife attack, but he claimed it was self-defense, and they claimed it was an attack. But they didn't care, they just kicked him out immediately.
Was he, I'm just curious, was he kicked out or was he arrested and removed?
No, he wasn't arrested, he was just kicked out because they believed them and not him. They did not go through the landlord-tenant board. I don't know, I wasn't there, I didn't witness the incident. The only other thing I've got to say, twice there have been fire alarms in the last, I'll say 3 days or so, and once security staff was right there, they rushed in with the fire extinguishers, they put out the fire before the department even got there. And the other time, they kicked some people out of the staircase because they were smoking in there. They're not supposed to be smoking inside in a public place.
No, that's right.
So some of this stuff that the people are saying, I don't agree with, and what I haven't seen, so I'll talk to you about that later, but that's what I got to say about that right now.
Well, it's good to hear that there's some positive outcomes, you know, and there's some positive work going on.
Okay, so what I want to share is the security of this place is too much drugs that goes on. What I'm seeing when I moved here, I've seen a lot. I lived in 333 and then I moved to 441. And I've seen overdoses. I've seen people holding the door while security has the camera right on top of the door. So they should see this. People are holding the door so people can come on in that are on the street. A lot of drugs going on.
How long have you lived here?
A year, about a year.
About a year. Yes, and I've seen them. And I only have one eye, so I'm kind of worried about my safety. With all of
We
this.
all worry about our safety
Okay,
here.
yes.
But here, can I just point something out? How many thousands of people live here? About two? About 2,000 people live in this area? And there's what, 15 people in here? Okay, so like, most of the people that come to these things want out. You have other buildings in this city, around the city, where there's maybe one or two troublemakers, where you could transfer them and put the good people in them buildings and keep all the trouble in one building. I don't know why you guys don't do that.
And basically, like,
I don't know why.
it's hard to say this, but this
You-
area right here, you know what you guys are being called? Crackhead housing.
Yeah, but
Crackhead housing.
Okay, this gentleman.
I'm just saying, That's
I
what
told you I
was
wasn't going to be heard.
Oh, you should go in 333 and see how that building is.
So there's only one. That's it. The other one's gone. Do you mind just noting that?
You notice how nothing I said gets noted? I have serious concerns to have solutions, but I don't get heard.
Are they locked at night? So it doesn't get opened in the morning? Okay, all right. Yeah.
So the laundry in 333, the reason that they don't have laundry is because everyone in 333 kept their convert for laundry machines and dryers to take them. Code automatic will not come back and put machines in because of that. They refuse to come in and put machines in there. Anyways, besides that, the issue that drove homeless, okay, especially 395, that's where I live. There are two people. There's two people, one on the second floor and one on the third floor, one on the north side, one on the south. They turn around and go and they live in the back of the building. All the homeless do is scream up to them and they go over to the side and let them in.
That's what I say.
So like those doors were locked, like automatically magnetized and don't open until the fire alarm goes off, would cut the homeless getting in. They would actually have to go to the front of the back door, where majority of the time, if I'm walking my dog and there's a group of them in, I call security comes over, picks them all out, just so I can get in with my dog.
Yeah.
They were inside that
How
one.
can you get your dog and bark at those people? You're in your dog and bark at bad people.
Yeah, there's a safety issue with securing doors so people can get out. That's why people can get out. You legally can't make it illegal, because if there was a fire, and you guys
But
were all
it
trying to get out.
magnetized as soon as it goes off.
You're talking about electronic lock.
magnetized and they open the doors.
And there are buildings with that.
If they were magnetized on a regular basis.
Case of a fire.
My mom's building's like that.
Unless the door, they stop the alarm.
Listen, the problem, there's a lot of junk around with it. I'm tired of people.
Oh, yes.
Jumping. What are we doing about that? What can you do about it?
Well, they did put a bylaw out.
Yeah, but
Wait,
then-
no. Here Housing put the bylaw out and said that if you were caught not picking up your dog shit and you got an M5, you got 3 of them and you were evicted.
Where's that at?
There's a lot of shit on the floor.
I've asked them to re-put it out. And this is over 5 years now.
Oh, yes. So he was asking, he said here at the cafeteria you wanted an extended hour?
No, I said I want hours, visiting hours.
Oh, visiting hours. So he said that the visiting hours are at 9 o'clock, but he wants an extended hour to 10 o'clock. So I'm not too sure.
Visiting hours for what? If you live there, come over, I'm your visitor, right?
Oh, yeah, they have from, when the office opens and till 9 o'clock, then everybody after that has to leave.
Or sign it.
No, they have to leave and then it's just residents.
Stay here
in the
till
building.
9 o'clock. That's some of them, you, her, your boyfriend, your girlfriend.
What's his name?
Right, I want her, him.
Right, but then you left. That's right. But he wasn't to stay.
I just want to say, everybody, all this stuff that these people are talking about, it really ain't going to fix anything because the people that we're talking to are not listening.
No, here it's just a room that they rent. They get their lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner supplied. So it's paid in with their rent.
You're not talking about someone that's in your apartment.
Yes. Here, there's,
You open the door, you let me in.
I got thousands of hours. Thousands of hours.
yes, because it's supposed to be residents only.
I'm going to have a movie at the film festival. You watch.
No matter what, you gotta go, take you out.
Well,
And I'll go in that
if you
door.
want to get more popular about this, send it to, I'll give you my number and you send it to me. And I'll put it on.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sending this to a lot of people.
They're trying to.
So, I mean, I could put it on social
They're trying to
media.
get rid of.
Listen, I got a bigger influence than you do. Trust me.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying you don't.
You gotta go, you know, not that. Why do we have to? All the visitors get kicked out by 9.
So I know Family Services has like staff here on site overnight.
And
Everybody lives here as part of family services.
that's nonsense.
Listen, you guys live in this type of situation and you signed up for it, okay? To do all this, you need to have your own meeting with all the residents here and discuss it because that's the only way anything's going to get done. These people are not listening to us. They do not listen.
Oh, I know.
They don't.
I know. But ever since day one, since what, going on to five years ago now, this wasn't like this.
I grew up just down the street, okay?
Yeah, there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues that need to be taken care of in this down here. There's a lot of issues. I'm sorry to say about that.
Yeah.
For the question that she asked, with
The purple hair?
yes, thank you. Okay, there's so many dog owners in all of these buildings, right? So there's so many dogs, and nobody is out there watching if they
Sure they are. The cameras catch it all the time. They don't do shit.
Okay, I guess the cameras are catching them. Yes, okay, the cameras are watching, but nothing is being done. So we gotta watch where we step.
You ask security, they'll tell you every time, oh, we see everything. Bullshit. Then why aren't you doing anything about it?
Yeah, basically, that's what I'm saying. Like, they'll see everything. They'll be like, oh, yeah, we watched it, we can't be.
You need to rotate your staff because they get too comfortable here and don't give a shit.
Be in their computer room where it's nice and warm
Yep.
and have their coffee.
Flirting with the nurses.
Talking and all that.
Nothing's getting done.
Can I just say, I'm gonna just say this for the last thing. Okay, the security is supposed to be around, making sure everything's all good and protecting the
Even
tenants.
that
How
too, I
about
thought
this?
security guards were
Are
supposed
they
to be in
gonna do
this
anything
building.
about it until one
Just
of the
watching.
tenants end up getting shot or stabbed or anything?
Or beat up.
That's
Yeah.
what's been happening.
Yeah, that's why, just like on Wednesday
I seen a
night.
friend of mine. I seen a friend of mine that lives in 445 get jumped. Okay, that I really take it personally because I know for a fact the one that did it is that does drugs. So having seen my friends getting jumped by what is going on is scary, and it could happen to any of us. So something has to be done.
Yeah, they need to be
Your turn. Sorry, you went all the way back there and now I'm like,
On a Wednesday night, I was visiting one of the neighbors and on the 5th floor, and noticed, I guess the person who doesn't live in this area he lives in South Windsor area, decides to play Nicky Nine Doors, like approaching door to door, and all of a sudden he was all drunk one night on a Wednesday, and all of a sudden throws me across the room. Like grabs me by two arms and throws me. Yeah,
And that's what we're
Did you call
talking
the
about.
police?
yeah. By the time I had to crawl out,
And when security comes out,
nothing.
All they do is going, okay, guys.
Like I'm trying to get more details.
I've been here 5 years, nothing's changed, nothing's been ever done. That's facts. The only thing that's changed is her bringing some fun into the community once in a blue moon.
You know one thing that's changed? Previously, did the senior management come out and even hear your concerns?
No.
No. So that's changed. So let's think about how we.
Okay,
can
but
change
you
this
got
now.
to understand that they used to, and they still didn't do anything about it.
I don't know. Well,
Nothing.
Nothing. Like we complained about, we went to the, they came to our doors, they came to our doors and asked us, okay, what can we do to do this? What can we improve? Da, 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 da. We would say, okay, you need to improve with the security, you need to improve with this and this. Okay, we'll get onto it, we'll let you know what happens, we'll talk to the main man or the blah, 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 blah.
Again,
Yeah.
you need to switch the people that are doing drugs in the other buildings from all around this world or city and bring them here and put the good people in those buildings. Make those good, and concentrate on having one bad area. Period.
Basically,
Pardon me?
yeah,
that's not
basically
good.
what you need, that's what you guys need to do, is get rid of the ones that are letting the drug addicts.
You own the corporation. If you come to my door and say, I have to transfer you to another building, I'm going, and so are they. Simple as that. You want to keep shit and bring shit in here constantly, then get the good out.
So I've talked about how you evict people and the challenges of doing.
You're not evicting them, you're transferring them.
We actually have a policy where we're not transferring problem tenants to other areas as we used to. So that's a change. But I'm looking at the time and I'm really wondering, some of you have been very quiet, some of you have not, which is great. But I want to make sure, is there any issue we haven't covered? Obviously, security is a concern.
Yeah,
And
big time.
and you may not believe this, but I know that. You know, you do have the most security of any area of our properties, right?
Yeah, it's the same security that's working in the same, in the city hall and the government's office.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's the same.
Like, I work for the
Yeah, but they get, listen, you're not getting it. Everybody that works here, including that staff, becomes too used to it and we get laughed in their faces. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They've proven it over and over again. Not the staff too. I ran through hoops getting all these letters signed by specialists. For what? For what? For them to say no because I'm a single fucking male.
Okay, I'll just say this. Homeless is getting really, really big. And I understand they all want to play, they want to sleep warm, they want to find a place to come in. But the thing is, people that live here, letting them into their units, that's a big issue. That's a big issue.
Dude, they gotta sell their drugs.
Yeah, I know. And then
But apparently, being a drug dealer is okay in this building.
I'm not gonna mention names. I know dealers.
I think they got the bad name.
I know dealers. Sorry.
Okay, I can't hear it. I want to actually hear you, which is why I've come out. But I really can't hear
Okay,
four
so
people are talking about it. So if we could
just like that one time.
Richard, you already said it. Why are you saying it again? I said the solution. No one listens.
They let her, she let them in, and then first you know, they kicked her out of their own apartment. And security guards were
It's
there.
frustrating, isn't it? Didn't I tell you when you first moved here that this is exactly how it is?
They're taking over her place. You know?
We don't mean fuck all.
It's happening. All the homeless is coming in here.
And I'm tired of
Like
it.
your friend, and then all of a sudden they take your place over.
Yeah, I know.
It's exactly the same thing what they're doing with Sherry's place right now. Sherry's not in here and she's in the
I've heard of
hospital.
situations.
Oh,
too,
yeah,
where
that
even
way.
elderly
Yeah,
parents
395.
let kids move in, and they know kids too. I've seen that as well.
And also, that's another reason why.
If you got a kid, you shouldn't live here.
Residents that are in here that are single parents or parents that have kids, they'll stay here for until next year or whenever their rent is due. And when their rent is due, they're like, well, we're out of here. I'm not bringing my kid around here. This is a drug area, a bad area. I don't want my kid around this. And they move out without even telling us.
Yeah,
And it has been done.
Or they turn around and rent the apartment to people, and then the Windsor Housing don't get the rent.
Had that happen, mine.
That person's getting the money from their friends.
Exactly. And it has been done.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking? Like, I don't know if hand scanners, the ones, no, just hear me out. Hand scanners for all the ones that are, that live for I'm saying it's CHC, that are part of CHC, they all put their hand on the scanner. For the ones that don't, those people do not get it. But the thing is, you're still gonna have people letting people in.
Okay, again, solution, security at every door. Again, everything that you guys keep saying, The solution is security at the door telling them not to follow us in and not to come in if they don't get buzzed in. Plain and simple, that's the whole solution. Nobody wants to do this because why? You got to hire a couple extra guards, and these guys tell me, I've talked to them, they tell me, oh, we can't be alone. Meanwhile, they're protected between two glass freaking doors. If they need help, they can call for it, and they can be running over there in a second. But all it does is take is their presence, to tell them to go. Period, and it'll stop. Period.
Wow, you guys are yelling like two microphones here. Stop, please.
Excuse me?
Hold up a minute.
You want to raise your voice towards me again?
Not you, not you, not you. Relax.
Never in my life have I lived like a prisoner in my own home.
We've said the same thing for the last hour and a half.
Well, because the
Let's
reason
move
why we're
on.
saying the same
The
thing,
woman, I'm pretty sure the woman upstairs, she's standing right here. Let's move on.
the reason why we're saying this multiple times to her is because we want this done. We don't want another elderly person to end up dead in our building.
Yeah, we want to see changes.
Basically, we want the process to be done, not by, oh, we'll think about it, or we'll do something about it.
Guys,
Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
here's the reality of the guards at every single door.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guards there. We use 3 shifts of guards at every external door. We can't afford.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the front door. That's all they have to be at. Okay, if they get in through the sides and all that shit like that, that's on you guys for not having good locks or door shutters on there. You could fix that remedy. Anybody can go pull that fucking door open in every one of these side doors. You guys can fix that. But all it takes is one guard standing there telling people, no, you can't come in. You stop the drugs from being sold in the buildings. Those drug dealers screw up. They can't re-up anymore. And these people can't get their drugs anymore, including the people in the buildings that do drugs. So guess what? They're gone.
Are there any other issues you want me to hear before I leave? Any other issues?
Absolutely useless.